Hey guys, it's Jenna G. Welcome back to my kitchen. If you love brownies like I do, this video is for you because we're going to be making some brownies from scratch right at home. So let's start off by talking about the ingredients that we'll need for this brownies recipe. So I've got my cocoa powder that I'm going to be using in this recipe along with some granulated sugar. I'm also going to be using some melted butter. I have my avocado oil because we're going to be using that in this as well. Also going to be using some flour, all-purpose flour, eggs, vanilla essence, and some chocolate chips. You can use chocolate chunks as well if you prefer. So first thing I'm just going to be doing is just spraying my baking dish with some of that spray. And then I'm going to be using some parchment paper and just lining it with it. So it makes it a lot easier to remove from the baking dish once it's finished baking. So once that's done, I'm just going to set that aside. And to start off with our brownie mix, into a bowl, I'm going to be adding that melted butter along with my eggs and the granulated sugar. Now I'm using a whisk and I'm going to be whisking this for a few minutes until it's nice and light and you could no longer feel much of that granulated sugar. Of course, you could use a hand mixer as well instead of the whisk. Next in goes my vanilla essence along with my oil, and I'm just going to whisk this up there. Now what I did separately is just combine all the dry ingredients and combine the flour with the cocoa powder. So when it's time to add it, all is going to be added at the same time. So I'm going to carefully fold in the flour and the cocoa powder into this wet mixture that I have here. So you don't want to mix it up too much because you don't want to incorporate much air into it. That could result in a cake-like brownie. Once you've got your brownie mixture all mixed up there, all you're going to be doing is just adding it to that baking dish. Now to top it off, you can have fun with it. You can add almonds, walnuts, chocolate chunks. I just have these mini chocolate chips, so that is what I'm going to be using there. It's probably going to get melted a bit, but that's okay. You can add whatever you want to add to the top of it. Then I'm just going to be popping it into the oven at 340 degrees for about 45 minutes. Now once it's finished, don't mind that hole in it, that's just because I tested it with a skewer. Once it's done, you're just going to remove it from the oven and you're going to let it cool properly. Once it's cool, you can have fun with it and slice it as you like. Big pieces, small squares, big squares, rectangles. Either way, have fun with it. So that was super easy to follow along with. All you're doing is just combining all those ingredients that I just mentioned, or I mentioned earlier, and you just put it into bake. Now the tricky part of the brownies comes in where you have to, one, mix it, and two, bake it. So if you mix it too much, you stand the chance of mixing it and incorporating air bubbles in it, and it could result in a cake-like brownie. So you want to be careful with that. And then the next part that can be a little tricky is the bake time. So to be honest with you, you have to just play around with it. So I set about 345 degrees, 340, 345 degrees for about 45 minutes. Now you want to check on it. So let's say you check it after about 30 or 35 minutes, and let's just say it comes out with just a little bit on the edge of the skewer stick or wherever you stuck it in. That's fine. Once it's not runny, it's okay, because as it cools, it's going to firm up and it's going to continue the cooking process. So you don't want to bake it too much. To be honest with you, a few times it happened where I actually took it out of the oven too early and I ended up just putting it back in for about 10 minutes or so, and it was perfect after that. So it could be a little tricky. Don't leave it too long. Check on it after about 30 or 35 minutes. But once you have the mixing down and the bake time and the temperature down, this is what it's going to look like. So you want to make sure and let it cool before you cut it too, right? Because when you cut it and it's warm, the middle of it might seem a little undone. But once it cools, it firms up nicely. So try these out, guys. Brownie and ice cream is one of my absolute favorite dessert combinations. Try it out. Let me know what you guys think about it. I have a video up already where I use cake mix from the box and made brownies with it. But this one is all from scratch. So try it out and let me know what you guys think about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.